Talked early in the week about kind of the conversations you might have with Jamal and Brandon, but especially Jamal about playing his former team. What have you seen out of him now that he's gone through the week of practice? Just how kind of what's his
Yeah,
thinking?
he's really. Both guys are in a good place and ready to go. I would be concerned about it had we not talked about it. We just visited on it, and both guys were really level-headed about it, which is what we need to do. And so the three of us are going to be really even-keeled. Hey, while I got a chance before the next question, we just want to wish a little good luck to the Sounders and Coach Metzer and what these guys have done. Again, here they go. We've been following it and looking for some more great highlights and wishing them the best in the championship match. Sorry.
Corbin?
Hey Pete, Brandon Shell wasn't on the final injury report. How did he look out in the field this week at practice?
He had a full week of practice. He did really well. He's ready to go and really no hesitation there.
And looking at his season up to this point, he's only given up 5 quarterback hits in 10 games. Has he exceeded your expectations after you guys signed him back in March?
Well, I go back to we were really hopeful that he was going to fit just right, and he really has. He's just been a real positive, solid as a rock. Unfortunately, missed a couple games here, but every way, run game, pass game, he's really been a great acquisition for us and filled the spot, and we're real excited about him. I'm really glad he gets to play this week too. It's just it's an important deal, and we wanted to get back, and so he's done it.
Joe?
Could you give an update on Quentin Dunbar and Rashad Penny, how they practice this week and if their chances of playing?
Yeah, Quentin's not ready this week. He did practice all the 3 days, but not ready yet. Rashad Penny looked great. I mean, he looked great. He exceeded our expectations with his movement and his quickness and all of that. He's really in good shape. I don't know what that means for next week, but he looked as healthy as anybody out there. So we'll take it one shot at a time here. But very, very positive initial return, and I know he's really jacked about it.
And do you think Will Dissly is still kind of feeling the lingering effects of coming back from an Achilles?
No, I don't think so. He's worked. Nobody worked harder and more diligently than Will did. He's been steady as a rock with us. He's doing fine.
Curtis?
Yeah, Pete, how's Carlos Dunlap doing? First of all, and then on top of that, Carson and Hyde off the final status. How have they made it through the week, and are they better situated for you coming into this game?
Yeah, both Chris and Carlos are ready to go. They're both cranking ready. Carlos Dunlap, we're going to go all the way to game time on that one. We're going to work him out in pregame and make sure he's okay. Give him every day rest to make sure that we've protected him as much as possible and hope that he can play. But we'll determine that on game day.
Michael Sean?
Hey Pete, when you're trying to gauge how mentally focused your team is in any given week, what exactly are you looking for when you're trying to gauge that?
Yeah, really day to day. It's day to day, Mike. We have a routine to us, and we know how we practice on Comp Wednesday, and we know what kind of what the tempo is. I make highlights every day for the next day's meetings, and I can tell from that, the numbers of plays that are on there that stand out. It's more subjective than objective, I think, but I've been doing it for a long time and can kind of feel it out. We really have a standard of it. And Friday really is a big day for us too. We can see how crisp we are and how attentive we are to the details and all that kind of stuff. That's what Friday's for. It's kind of the day that shows us whether or not we are on it. So, it's just a process of the week that, we're pretty steady. We're pretty steady.
Do you check in with the leaders on your team at all to help take the temperature in times like that?
Regularly. Yes, we're in regular conversation about what's going on and this and that, about who, whatever. I think we're really open to talk with Bobby and Russ and Dwayne and KJ and on and on and on. There's a ton of guys and it's a constant for me because I'm always gauging. Where do I need to go? Who do I need to help? Is there something I can do? That's how I compete, is to try to figure out how to make sure guys are right and focused and all of that. So. I'm not saying we do it great. I'm always trying to figure out how to do that better. But I would tell you that too. That I can't tell you how we're going to play though. I can't call it, and I've had enough chances that I don't have that nailed. But But I can tell from the week how we worked. Yeah.
Thanks.
Bob?
Yeah, one more on Jamal. I know you said last week, I think he was still like 85% from the shoulder. Obviously, he's had a couple of the injury things. How big of a deal, I guess, do you think just when assessing this year, has it been that he kind of had to miss those games and was coming back from injuries a couple of different times?
I mean, he's on pace to be the sackingest DB ever, and he missed games, and he's played really one-armed in maybe 2.5 games, I mean, legitimately playing with one arm, and he's not 100% yet. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, if he can, with good fortune and all that, maybe that really goes away. But he still has to be very attentive to it and all that. So he is going to get better. He's going to play better. He's going to play faster. He's going to be more in command of all the stuff. We're doing a ton of stuff with him, and there's a lot of responsibility to the things that we're calling on him to do. And I mean, just today, he gave me a look after he did something really cool adjustment that he did, and he looked at me and said, "I'm getting it. I'm getting it." And it's a process, and so I'm thrilled with the way he's playing, and know that he'll even be better.
Art?
Pete, have you heard any discussion in the NFL about because of the surge in COVID of things that might change the playoffs in terms of even a more stringent bubble around each team?
What I can tell you, Art, is that I think it's today they were having in-depth meetings attending to what's going to happen in playoff time, postseason. And so I don't know anything at all about the specifics of it. There has been some conversation, not with me directly, but conversation about can we create a bubble for the playoffs and that kind of stuff, and adjust to try to secure the team's safety and all that. But there's big meetings going on right now, and they're trying to figure it out.
Greg?
Hey, Rich, we'll let you in a second, okay? Sorry. Go ahead, Greg. My bad.
Have you noticed that, and the injury list and the amount of injuries don't suggest this, but is there any freshness or a different December feel to the daily grind of this season than previously, because there was no preseason really, there was no off season, and maybe this is a normal December?
Yeah, that's a good question that I got to sit back and think about that a little bit more. But it seems like we're still dealing with a lot of back and forth with the roster, who's up and who's down. I had hoped that from the midpoint of the season we might start to get in better and be more adapted to the workload, and guys would be better than we were in the first 4 to 6 weeks. When we came off of a limited amount of prep. And hoping that the season might get guys in a little bit better. And I haven't done this yet, but at the halfway point now, we were well ahead injury-wise. The league was, but I was thinking that maybe as we compare those numbers, we could probably look at the third quarter of it and compare it to what happened in the first 2 quarters. I don't have those numbers for you though, but. I can't tell you that it feels fresh or no. It's just it still feels really different just because of the stadiums. That still feels different, and there's a different sense about a lot of it because of the atmosphere on game day.
How have your guys maintained that almost self-created momentum and energy and adrenaline? And at the beginning of the season, you talked about how good they were doing.
Yeah,
maybe in the Giants game.
Well, it's a lot easier to play off when you're playing good and you're winning and doing well and all that. But it has been, I think I might have said to you a week ago or 2 weeks ago that this is one of the biggest changes that we've dealt with. And it's the biggest changes in terms of emphasis that we've dealt with to try to nurture the energy and the juice, game day, locker room, halftime, coming out, finishing the game, all of that. Because you don't have the element of your home crowd and just the environment. Even when you're on the road too, it's just the noise that heightens the energy and all that, whether it's for you or against you. And so it continues to be a challenge. It continues to be a real emphasis. We want to finish with the best, surge of juice and support for one another that we can. And that's what I went directly to start the fourth quarter off. First thing I talked about is supporting one another and making sure that we're there for each other so that we can keep the energy and the element of energy way high and like we need it. So we're working on it.
Last question for Pete. Maz Vida.
Oh, we're going to miss some of the New York guys if we don't do something, Dave. Look, Samini's just dying to get a question in here.
Let's go, Masvidal.
I'm sorry, go Mosh, you got it.
No, fair enough. Hey, Coach, you said that the defenses were catching up to the offense now. Is that just because of this year, or is that a normal thing that happens in the regular season?
I don't have numbers to support this, but I think it generally happens. I think it generally we get better as we see more of them. We get more familiar with what's going on. The newness coming out of camp with no preseason games to even look at your opponents. That affects your first 4 or 5 weeks anyway. 4 games of stuff. Coaches show things, and you learn things, and you get adapted as you're going. And we didn't have any of that. So the defense. Offense too, I'm talking like a defensive guy now, but the defense kind of went in blind, in that regard, and so once we see more, we adapt and we can change and adjust and all of that. I think you can see that the scores are definitely down from where they were earlier in the year.
Okay, thank you. We'll be back with.
We'll do the bonus round. Bonus round for the New York guys, just because if they got anything. Okay, that's it. Sorry. You got any questions, Rich? Oh, okay.
No, I'm good, Pete. We had a nice chat the other day, so I appreciate.
Just want to show you how I have no ill feelings. Okay, I'm really in good shape here. I'm just trying to give you guys every chance.
I never sensed an anti-New York bias at all.
Yeah, that's right. See ya.
We'll be back.